Jai Guruji Sangatji, myself Shaurya from Delhi. Today I get the opportunity to share the book My Guruji Grace in front of all satsang by Guruji Blessings. Today I will share the first chapter, which is Love, Loss and Lessons. Before the satsang, I want to share something. There are many paths in life, but mine leads to only one destination, that is Guruji. I have chosen devotion to achieve inner peace. Guruji says, do good and be good. If you unite yourself with Guruji Maharaj, your life will work out beautifully. Now I am going to start the satsang of Dr. Madan Mohan Bajaj uncle. Born in a middle class family, my father was not a rich man. However, it was a dream that I become a doctor. He had labored hard for it. In the year 2003, my father was critically ill and admitted to Escorts Hospital. He was put on a ventilator in the intensive care unit. He had a clot in his brain, and there was nothing that the doctors could do but wait. I was determined to give the best possible care to my father. During those days, my financial position was precarious. The money I earned was spent in meeting my children's educational expenses. My younger son Pratik was doing his MBBS in Mangalore. My daughter Ishita was studying, and my elder son Puneet, who had come down to help me during the difficult hour, had just joined duty as a registrar at the Bhateja Dental College and Hospital at Badi in Himachal Pradesh. I was the only breadwinner in the family. Even after putting hard work at my clinic, I was not able to cope up with household expenses. Now, as the expenditure at the ICU accrued daily and I had to remain at my father's bedside, I could not even see patients at my clinic. In short, I ended up borrowing from different sources and was in debt. I even decided to sell my house. At that point, Sudhirji came to my rescue. He apprised Guruji of my financial situation even as he made arrangement to move my father to a private room in Dr. Ram Manohar Lole RML Hospital in Delhi. There he could be treated at minimal cost. The doctor in attendance at Escorts, Dr. Rishi Gupta, arranged for shifting my father to RML, but warned me about the risk involved in transit. Due to his delicate health, I requested the doctor to take care of my father in the hospital and decided to bear all the expenses come what may. I could not risk shifting him as it was against my conscience. Sudhirji told Guruji of my predicament. Since I was unable to go to Guruji in these circumstances, Guruji sent through Sudhirji an object blessed by him that was placed under my father's pillow and conveyed that my father will obtain mukti, salvation quickly. The next day, my father passed away. The loss of my father was compounded by the hospital bills. I had to pay a sum of rupees 40,000 before I could take possession of my father's body. Even with the help of my elder son, I could not arrange for the money. Sri S.C. Goel, a sessions judge in Haryana, was with me at the hospital and tried to help. We still fell short by rupees 10,000. I had to tell the hospital authorities to keep the body in the mortuary while I arranged for the money. Somehow I borrowed the money for claiming the body and for the last rites. During the last rites, Sudhirji whispered Jai Guruji in my ear and slid rupees 5,000 in my pocket. I could go to Guruji only after some time had elapsed since my father rites. Guruji spoke to me in private and said, बजाज तेरे कोल अपने प्यो दे क्रिया करम दे भी पैसे नहीं सी फिर भी तू मेरे कोलों नहीं मंगे। तेनू मैं इन्ना दे देंगा कि तेनू जिंदगी विच किसी कोलों मंगने दी जरूरत नहीं पऊगी कदी भी। बजाज, you did not have money even for your father's last treatise, yet you did not ask me for it. I will give you so much that you will never have to ask anyone for anything in your entire life. I remained silent. Guruji again provoked me with, "Ki hoya tenu? What happened to you?" I told Guruji gently that I did not want money. मुझे बस आप चाहिए जी. I only want you. Guruji tested me further. तू मेरा अचार पन्ना है, ऐसे तरह चली जा, तेरा कुछ नहीं बनना. What will you do with me? You are naive. Nothing will come of you. I stayed silent. Guruji repeated that I was naive and मैं की करा, चला जा. Keep doing my bhakti if you don't want money. What can I do? Leave. Guruji would often adopt this refrain towards me. He frequently said, "वजा तू मंग ले मेरे कोलों, तेनू भी मैं करोड़पति बना देना. तू इधर उधर मंगना रहना है पैसे, तेरियां सब परेशानी कट जानी हैगी. बजाज, ask me for it. I will make you millionaire. You keep borrowing money from here and there. Money will end all your difficulties." I always told Guruji that I only wanted him, not money. There are two things I requested of him. First, that he take care of my children, and second, that he take away the suffering of those for whom I prayed to him. And Guruji has more than fulfilled my wishes. My children are settled and doing well professionally. My daughter Ishita is a senior fashion designer in Dubai. My son Pratik is a cardiologist in a leading hospital, and my eldest son Puneet is a professor in Bhateja Dental College in Badi, Himachal Pradesh, and is an ardent devotee of Guruji. In fact, Guruji played a major role in Puneet's life. In the year 2005, his marriage was fixed with Guruji blessings. The marriage was to be held in Faridabad, and Guruji had agreed to grace the occasion. I was overjoyed as I was getting a chance to felicitate Guruji and his Sangat. In fact, I had asked the bride's parents to focus on making Guruji's asan seat special and to ornately embellish it with flowers. So I have to welcome Guruji in my son's wedding. I also got 700 invitation cards printed with Guruji's saroop in each card. Before the happy day could come, event took a turn. Puneet wanted the marriage to be a simple ceremony and the venue moved to Chandigarh. He approached Guruji with the request and Guruji permitted the change of venue. I failed to understand the reason in my anguish, decided not to inquire about it either from Guruji or from Puneet. I was losing a golden opportunity to host Guruji in Faridabad. Besides, what would happen to the invitations I had sent out? Through Sudhirji, I requested Guruji to reconsider our decision. However, the marriage venue was changed to Chandigarh as per Guruji's permission. Guruji did not come to Chandigarh but sent his long-time devotee Sri Ashwini with his blessings to attend the function. I was really hurt and very soon depressed that Guruji not came on my son's wedding. I stopped going to my clinic and to a pious state at Sultanpur beside the Mehrauli Gurgaon road. I removed all the photos of Guruji from my house, did away with the temple I had dedicated to him, and stored everything away in my storeroom. Sudhirji would call me to come to Guruji's place, telling me Guruji wished it, but still reeling under my disenchantment. I did not go, telling him that I was not in a proper frame of mind. Guruji took matters in his own hand and one day called me on the landline. Yes, why? I was not coming to him even though I was remembering him at home, since I did not want to hurt his feelings. I kept quiet and tears came in my eyes. Meanwhile, a friend of mine invited to his daughter's wedding. He too was a Guruji devotee and requested Guruji to grace the event. Guruji graciously agreed. Guruji made me sit next to himself at the marriage function, and I once again enjoyed his divine presence. After a few days, I redecorated Guruji's temple at home and began doing my daily puja act of worship again. Later, when I went to Guruji at Pastor, he reminded me that I could not leave my Guru. That just explained that Guru is a Mahapurush and he knows everything. When I returned home that day, I cried. When Guruji called me again, he told me that Sudhirji had conveyed my grievance to him. I had felt hurt that through I had devoted myself fully to Guruji. He had accepted to Puneet's request and sided with my son. I told me that I had taken pride in my devotion, and I should added that it was better from Puneet to have got married in Chandigarh. So in one stroke, Guruji had given my son a better start to his marriage life and also removed my pride, which was a big obstacle in my path of devotion. Guruji is a Mahapurush, while I am a mere human being who is his devotee. How I could have had insight into such deep matters. Whatever, a Mahapurush does it for the benefit of his disciple, Sangat. We come to know of the grace hidden behind his action much later. As it is, nothing is hidden from a Mahapurush. He brings us to the world and he is the gateway to our salvation. All that bhakti, the path of devotion, requires is purity of mind and heart. If we are devoted to Guruji with a pure heart, then we can achieve moksha, salvation, and our devotion should not get entangled in outer pomp, nor should it partake of any or egoism from who we are or how close we are to Guruji. For is a disciple the focus of his devotion, Guruji is sufficient. In the eyes of Guruji, all his devotees are equal. Therefore, the devotee should not consider himself better either in wisdom or in devotion than his fellow devotees. The heart becomes pure only when it has no trace of egoism left. If you feel Guruji has granted you more wisdom about him, first surrender your ego, only then share your perceptions with others, if it is helpful to them. In fact, those who have had darshan to see a holy person or get a vision of God, of Guruji, or have been closely associated with Guruji should share their experiences with those who are relatively new in the Sangat. Knowledge of any kind usually leads to high-heartedness and enhances egoism. It is up to us if we want to use knowledge for the good of others. If that is so, then we are on path of bhakti. The best thing to do is it to always follow Guruji's teachings, the essence of which is to be a true human being, had to do good deeds that will always lead us and other devotees to Kalyan and bliss. I am a human being just like others, and I am trying to rid myself of my ego. It is difficult, but I endeavored to continue with Guruji's blessings. Here is what I am prepared to affirm. 1. I have seen through even relationship and real insight that no one gives love like Guruji. 2. Guruji blessing cannot be revoked by anyone's ill wishes. 3. Guruji love is a divine feeling that is woven into every breath of mine. 4. In this time of great spiritual dispute, Guruji is the Mahapurush of the era. For those who seek spirituality and a true Guru but are afraid of falling for false forgets, Guruji light is a sure beacon of reassurance, grace, and eternal protection. This is not my personal experience alone, but of countless others. According to Guruji's Seva, selfless service is Param Dharam, and hence it should be our first and foremost duty. With Guruji grace, I had the chance to nurture my devotional yug. Right from early 2006 till he left his human form in May 2007, 31st, Guruji gave me opportunities to do seva daily. Guruji could have got these tasks performed by anyone, but it is my great fortune that he chose me. I kept following Guruji instructions. However, I never spoke in front of Guruji to the extent that he would chide me and say I was dumb. I was happy in his presence and having my fill of his darshan. Owing to Guru Kripa, I had the great chance to listen to his sacred words and the truth itself that came out of his sacred lips. Most of the days that I was called for seva were not regular Sangat days. Often a charpai cot would be put up in the room where the Sangat sat for Guruji's darshan. Sri Seki Jyoti, another devotee of Guruji, would often be there too. One day Guruji was pacing in the room, and when he stopped and pointed towards the chandelier, he asked me what it was. I replied that it was light. Guruji said, I am that. Indeed, Guruji said means times that he was a light, the divine light. Several times he pointed out that he was giving me lots of opportunity to do seva, whereas those who had been with him for nearly 2 decades were yet to be granted a chance even through they too had requested for the same. He would say that I was very lucky. I would simplify, affirm his statement with a G Guruji, and remain silent. Guruji also told me that he felt restless in the human form. मैं कित्थे फंस गया हाँ, Guruji would often ask rhetorically. तुसी सारे मैनू कीदे मौकरे लगदे हो? What have I got myself into? You all seem like insects to me. I do not know why Guruji told me this thing. He is a Mahapurush and I am an ordinary devotee. It